So I've been working out for 5 years, mixing calisthenics and weights. And after getting to a point where I'm more than comfortable with my physique and consistently making strength gains, I've started to realize that there's always a handful of exercises that I would say I always do no matter what phase I'm at during my fitness career. So in this video, I'm going to be showing you the 5 exercises every man needs to do to gain the most amount of muscle in the shortest amount of time. So coming into our first movement is going to be the barbell squats. Now, the reason why I'm starting off first with the barbell squat is because this movement has been no joke in the beginning stages of my training career. Even when I'm feeling lazy and not really trying to do a leg day, I make sure that I always knock out the barbell squat. Like, no cap. If it came to me wanting to skip a leg day, I had to at least do my squats. It's just the foundation for the legs. Now, it doesn't necessarily matter which squat variation that you want to do, but more so, you want to focus on choosing one of these particular exercises. The back barbell squat, the front squat, the hack machine squat, or also the Smith machine squats. Pick one of these variants, train them 2 times per week, and train within the 3 to 12 rep ranges. Now, the reason why there's a big range is because you could really take your leg training to heavy loads significantly, especially when you're doing a movement like the barbell squat. And since your legs are obviously like the biggest muscle group that you have on your body, I would definitely recommend to train them heavier than last time. Safely, of course. Don't just start putting loads onto the plate and not taking progressive overload into account. Like that gradual progressive overload, okay? Not the ego lifting, you get me? Plus, if you didn't know, squatting is the best exercise to help boost your testosterone levels, which can directly correlate to the overall process of your body to build muscle. So you better be doing your squats, man, like no cap. Coming into our second movement is gonna be the sibling of the squat, but more so of the upper body. And that's none other than the dips. Man, if y'all don't really know, I love me some dips. Like the dips has been a big impact and staple for my entire fitness journey. I think even before I even did calisthenics, like officially, I've always been doing the dips. Similar to that, like the push-ups as well. But the dips has always been like, since day one, I'm telling y'all, and to this day, I'm still doing the dips, like no cap. Now, sometimes I would switch the equipment from the bars to the rings, but ultimately the dips are responsible for building the majority of my pecs, right? The chest gains. That's exactly what I accomplished with the dips. And I'd even say it's probably one of my strongest movements that I can do in terms of like heavy loads. I've actually recently did a 1 rep max on the weighted dips with 245 pounds. I also currently have a 3 rep max on the dips for 210 pounds. And the growth that I've done over the last years is like, to me, is insane. Alhamdulillah, I'm able to even make these record-breaking progress in terms of my own personal records. I'm able to not only just like, hit these impressive numbers, but I'm low-key competing with some of the folks that I've actually been inspired myself, right? The people who put me on calisthenics, or the people who put me on weighted calisthenics, whether it's on YouTube, in person, whatnot. Like I'm actually competing with them, right? I'm in the same playing levels as them too. So that right there is kind of like another motivational factor for me to continue training the dips, continue progressing in my entire like fitness journey and career. Now, in terms of programming the dips into your workout routine, I definitely recommend you training them twice a week as well, and sticking to the 3 to 10 rep ranges. You could push it to like maybe 12 reps, 15 at most, but no lower than 3 reps and no higher than 15 reps. Me personally, I just train within the 3 to like 8 to 10 reps. Then coming in for our third exercise is going to be an overhead press. This can include a barbell overhead press, a dumbbell overhead press, the pike push-ups, a machine overhead press, the handstand push-ups. These are all just different variants of an overhead press, right? You're pressing over your head. These will all pretty much target your front delts and triceps. But me personally, I've always stuck to doing the pike push-ups and handstand push-up progressions. But to be more specific, what I currently do is the chest facing the wall handstand push-ups. So depending on strength level, the recommendation in terms of like the overhead press variation you should do is going to vary. So let's say you're a beginner, then I definitely recommend you to do pike push-ups. If you're more of a intermediate kind of guy, then do like deficit pike push-ups where you're getting an elevation to go through a even greater range of motion for your shoulders. You can do elevated pike push-ups as well. You could do wall handstand push-ups. And of course, if you're at like my certain level of strength, chest facing the wall is definitely more difficult compared to back facing the wall. And of course, you can start doing like deficit chest facing the wall handstand push-ups, but those are hard, like very, very hard. I can maybe bang out like 4 reps, 5 at most. So I just stick to the chest facing the wall variant and then bang out like 8, maybe 9 or 10 reps per set, call it a day. But yeah, handstand push-ups, guys, built the foundation of my shoulders. I remember back when I first started calisthenics, that was the goal. I had to master the handstand push-ups. I worked through all the progressions, and a lot of people notice like when they see me in the gym, they're like, yo, your shoulders are looking big, they're capped. And even now to this day, I would definitely say that my shoulders are still a strong point, and thanks to the handstand push-ups. Now, the way I would program these is essentially have 2 training days and working within the 3 to 10 rep ranges. So depending on what progression you're on, let's give you a practical example. With me, I do a 3 to 5 rep range a day, and that utilizes a harder handstand push-up variation. So for me, that's like deep freestanding handstand push-ups. Then I have another session where I'm focusing on high reps, right? So I'm doing something alongside a wall. So that would be like the chest facing the wall handstand push-ups. So for you, if you're a beginner, that could be literally your heavy day could be like elevated pike push-ups. And then your more volume-based day can be just pike push-ups. Hopefully that makes sense. Then for the 4th exercise that I'll always include in my routine, no matter what stage of my fitness journey I'm at, it's going to be the pull-up and chin-up. My boys, if y'all not doing pull-ups or chin-ups or neutral grip pull-ups, then something's definitely wrong in your training. Like for real, for real. Y'all need some serious restructuring into your exercise selection. And I'm talking about putting one of these variations at the forefront of your workout. I'm not talking about you doing this for a warm-up. I'm not talking about you doing this as a burner set or whatever. Like, no, make sure the pull-up and its variations is the primary workout for your back. Or, of course, if you know me, I do the chin-ups as my primary workout for my biceps. Because seriously, man, how are you going to disrespect a top-tier movement and put it as a warm-up or do it as a finisher? Like, that just doesn't make sense. Like, who warms up? Like, for example, who warms up with a barbell squat, right? And I'm talking in the sense of like exercise selection, not necessarily the loads. Who finishes off with a barbell squat? That sounds kind of weird. It's pretty much the barbell squat is like the main workout of your legs. So same thing goes with the pull-ups, chin-ups, neutral grip pull-ups. That's the main workout for your back, right? But anyways, here's how I would pretty much program the pull-ups, chin-ups, and its variations into your routine. If you want to focus on building a bigger back, wider back, then you definitely want to stick to choosing the pull-up or the chin-up or the neutral grip pull-up, but really focus on engaging in scapular retraction. The process of just rolling your shoulder blades back, sticking out your chest, that's going to put your body in a more favorable position to really engage your back muscles, right? Now, if you want to focus more so on your biceps, then you can utilize the chin-ups or the neutral grip chin-ups, but focus more so on pulling with your biceps, right? Almost as if you want to completely disengage scapular retraction. You're almost like pronated in a sense, and you want to just focus on pulling with your biceps. Let the biceps be the primary mover. Now, don't get me wrong, your back will still work, but the intent of the way you're pulling would definitely shift the degree of activation on that particular muscle group. So if y'all didn't know already, mechanical tension is like a primary driver for hypertrophy, the process of building muscle, increasing strength adaptations. And if you're intending on pulling with your biceps, you're going to be increasing that mechanical tension on the biceps, which in turn lead to the growth of muscle. Now, I know that might have been a lot of words, but hopefully that makes sense. But still, with the pull-ups, chin-ups, similar to the dips and also squats, I train no lower than 3 reps and typically no higher than 10 reps. But that can be left for y'all to decide which side of the spectrum y'all want to be at. Training twice a week and you will be good to go. Then coming in for my last movement is going to be the one where you really want to max out your aesthetics, max out that muscular look, is to actually start doing a dumbbell lateral raise. Now, getting wider is honestly like the priority when it comes to looking more muscular, right? Similar to having a wide back, we want to have a wide frame in the front of our body as well. And the lateral head of the delts is kind of what essentially enacts that wider look. So by training the dumbbell lateral raises, you're specifically targeting your shoulders to just look more wider. You look more rounder from the front and low key from the back too, especially when your back is well developed already. It's just gonna, be like the icing on the cake. Now, I'll definitely say this specific variation, the bench supported dumbbell lateral raise, has been a new rotation into my exercises over the last maybe exactly a year. I'm not sure. It might be just under a year, to be honest, but I've been loving this variation, right? I've done a lot of raises with the cable machine, utilizing one arm with the dumbbell, but I've found that the bench supported variation really does keep me humble. It forces me to just use my side delts, right? I can't swing on this movement because the bench is literally just taking out all my strength, supported onto the bench. So I'm forced to utilize my lateral delts. But yeah, since I've been doing lateral raises, man, I'm definitely getting more compliments on my physique, more compliments about how big my shoulders are. And I'm talking outside my gym clothes. I'm talking wearing just a regular oversized tee. I'm looking wider, right? But hey, what do I know? If you want to see more content like this, be sure to follow me, man. I'm a tough fitness scout shit. No cap.
Cobra Trains, he's up next. Make sure y'all subscribe to him. He's number one out here.
He's the toughest fitness guy out here.